Hello everybody, what's going on out there? I hope everybody's having a good new year. In this tutorial we're going to build a very low poly arcade machine. Okay, you can see it's not a very high poly, it's not very high detail. This is for maybe if you're going into a game engine or you're doing a scene and you want these things to populate the background, but you're not going to be having any close-up shots on them. They're not going to be a focus in your scene. You just kind of want them littered around the background, you know, for ambience and feel. And since you're not going to be up real close on them, they don't have to be perfect, so they can be a really low res type model. So let's go ahead and do this, and we'll get a new scene and start from scratch. So here we are in our brand new scene. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to lay down a cube. So let's grab our cube and let's just lay down roughly the size of our machine and roughly the thickness. Doesn't have to be perfect. As I say, these are going to be background items. Okay, now we got that. So now we're going to go ahead and run in some loop slices. So let's go to our polygon mode. Let's select a couple loops in that direction. Hit Alt-C to bring up our loop slice tool. I want to run a count of 2, but I want to run them mode free. And I'm going to click. The first one I'm going to put up towards the top, maybe leave about where it is. Maybe bring it down a little. About like so. Looks pretty good to me right there. Let me turn on my wireframe because you might get confused without it on. So now we have these 2 loop slices run, okay? So now we want to run a few more loop slices. Okay, so let's go ahead and select polygons, these bottom polygons. Alt-C, let's click and let's run 2 more loop slices, and this time let's put them down here. Now we can adjust scale and everything later. This is not an issue, so don't worry about if you've not made your square big enough. We're going to take it down to about right like that. That looks pretty good. Okay, now we have those 2 loop slices run. I'm going to select these 2 polygons, hit Alt-C again to bring up my loop slice tool, and this time I'm going to run a count of 1. I'm going to click, and I'm going to set this one down closer to about right there. Okay, so now let's go to our vert mode and let's grab some verts. Let's grab this vert, let's grab this vert, okay, let's grab this vert, and let's grab that vert. And it would help if I held the shift key when I selected them to make multiple selections. Now I have all 4 of those verts selected. Let's hit the W key and let's push it back like so. Okay, now let's go back to our polygon mode, select those 2 polygons, hit Alt-C once again. Let's run 1 loop slice, and we're going to bring it up to about, I'm going to say right there. That looks good. Now let's go to our polygon mode. Let's select that front polygon, hit our W key. Now let's pull that back a little bit like so. Now you can see we're getting our basic shape of our arcade machine. Now let's go ahead and run some more loop slices. Let's select 2 polygons up in the Y direction. Let's hit Alt-C. This time let's make it symmetry, count of 2. We'll run them, and we're going to leave a little space on the corners about like that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and select that loop, and let's select this loop by selecting 2 in the direction you want the loop to run and hitting the L key. Now let's go down and around to the bottom, hold our control key, and let's deselect these bottom ones like so. Now we just have this ring selected. Let's hit our bevel key, hit and click once in that tool to activate it. Now let's pull on our blue handle till it comes out a little bit, just a little bit. Then let's shift click to reactivate our tool. Let's pull out some more, shift click, and pull out some more one more time. Now, as the reason we shift clicked is, as you can see, as we've done that, it laid in our loop slices for us, and we don't necessarily have to go back and do that now. Okay, now we have this. Let's go ahead and bevel in our screen like so. Shift click, bevel it in. I'm going to hit the R key for scale, and I'm going to scale this in to where it's a little more square. Spacebar, drop our tool. Now let's go ahead and hit the B key and click to activate our bevel tool again. Let's take this back in just a little bit. Hit the shift key and click again, and take it back one more time. And maybe just bevel in a smidgen. Hit the shift click and then pull it right back out. Okay, now we can scale our screen out or in. It really doesn't matter, it's up to you. Now if we go into our sub D mode, you can see that we haven't got, looks like an arcade machine from the 50s. So let's go ahead and brace up our arcade machine here. So let's select polygons in this direction. Alt C for our loop slice, count of 2, symmetry. And you can see we're going to run them right there. We're going to put them right close to the edge. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. Like so. Now we're going to run 2 right up the center. We're going to put them close to the edge. Like so. Okay, now we're going to run 2 up this way. Like so. Now let's go around and run our loop slices in each individual section here. This one, Alt C, run 2. Then we'll go this way. Alt C, we'll run 2. We'll run this way. With Alt C, we'll run 2 more. And of course, this section. This section. This section. Kind of repetitive, isn't it? But that's okay. I mean, you can't handle repetitiveness, then you ain't going to be a 3D modeler. And we're going to run them around this section. Now when we go into sub D mode, you can see our shape is holding there. Let's stretch it out a little bit more. Make it not quite as wide. Okay, so now we're getting our basic shape of our game here. So let's go ahead, go back to sub D mode, or regular polygon mode. And let's go ahead and select this one, go to our work plane, and align our work plane with selection. That'll align that work plane with that selection. That way whatever we build will be built right to that angle in selection. So let's take a cylinder, and let's click right here, and let's put it in there, like that. And let's pull up. Like so. Spacebar, drop our tool, work plane, reset the work plane. Let's select our top polygon, action center local, make sure you change it to local, and let's hit the B key and bevel that in. Okay, and let's bevel this in. Shift click, bevel it in a little bit more. Shift click, let's pull up to bring it up just a little bit. Shift click, bring it up some more. Shift click and bring it up a little bit more. Shift click, our final one, let's bevel it in a little bit like so. Now when we double click that and go to sub D mode, you can see that's holding. We need to run a couple loop slices here. Let's run them around this way, a couple of them like so, and I think that will do it. That'll help hold the shape of that button. So let's go ahead and select that button, and let's hit Command C, Command V, and that copies and pastes it. Hit the W key, and we can pull it over like this. And let's do it one more time. Now let's select all 3 of them and do the copy and paste with Command C, Command V. Hit our W. That way we'll have 6 buttons. Here. Okay, now all that's left to do is build our joystick. So let's go into polygon mode. Let's align our work plane to that selection. Let's go ahead and build us another cylinder about right here. Pull it up a little bit. Spacebar, drop our tool. Now let's go in here and work on this. Let's select that bevel tool. Let's bevel it in a little bit. Let's pull up. Shift click, pull up again, and let's bevel it in like so. Shift click, and let's bevel this in like this. Shift click, and we can bring it down a little bit if we want. Now let's run some loop slices around the edge like so, 2 of them, mode symmetry. Now let's run one around through here, just one, mode free. Actually, I'm not even going to do that. If I wanted to tighten up that edge, I can select this edge, hit the R key, and scale it out to tighten up that edge. So now let's go ahead and put our joystick down in the middle here. So let's select that middle polygon. Let's align our work plane to that polygon right there. Let's grab us another cylinder, and let's click right in the middle of that polygon, and let's draw one out, another circle out like so. Let's pull it up. And how long should we make it? That looks pretty good, I guess. We can always change the length of it. Let's grab our top polygon. Let's scale it out a little bit. Like so. Now let's select that top polygon again, hit the B key to bevel it. Now let's bevel it in. Let's pull it up. Like so. That will give it a little round tip. And if you like it to be a little bit bigger like so, you can bevel it out, shift click, bring it up a little bit, shift click, bring it up a little bit more, and pull it in. It just depends on the look you want on your joystick. So let's select our bottom, let's hit the bevel key and flatten that out. Let's shift click again, it'll flatten it out one more time. If we want to, we can run a loop slice right through there, like so, to give it that little bit of tightness there around the top. And we can go into your edge mode, and you can scale this in, make it a little tighter. It's completely up to you. And you can adjust with these just to fool with it. You can see I'm pulling it up there to make that a little bit tighter looking. Okay, there's our joystick. Now we have our simple, let's reset our work plane, arcade machine, and if we go into sub D mode, everything, let's turn off our wireframe. Everything seems to be holding fairly well, and will make a perfect background arcade machine. Now, this is a low poly model. You can also hit the D key to subdivide it so it'll hold a little bit better and it'll look a little bit better. You can also up your subdivision level from 2 to 4 if you just want to help smooth out some of your corners. I usually work with it on 2. Okay, so there's that. Let's turn off our wireframe, and everything's looking pretty good. Again, you can even subdivide it one more time if you want to by hitting the D key, and as you can see now, it's looking got a really tight mesh there, but it's not as low poly, okay, as I wanted it to be. So let me back up here. Now suppose you're wanting to go to, I don't know, a game engine of some kind, and it's wanting tries. So what I suggest is you go to your polygon tab, and it's back down to our low poly model, and just hit the triple button. And that will slice everything up into tries for you. So let me subdivide this once and hit the triple key, and boom, now everything is in tries. And if we go to our lists and go down, you can see there's nothing in our mesh except 3-sided polygons. Hit the control 1, and let's go toggle wireframe, and there we go. We have a nice background arcade machine for you to use at your will. Thanks for watching. I hope you've learned something. I look forward to many more videos. I have several done. I just haven't posted them because I don't want to run you guys in the ground with Modo. But look forward to them, enjoy them. If you don't like them, I apologize. More videos of other content will be posted. It's not just going to be all Modo, but I might post 2 or 3 Modo tutorials. I don't want you to think I've forgotten about all the other tutorials that we do together. So thanks for watching, and we'll gladly see you in our next video.